September 1st, 1939. The day the world changed forever. The day the deadliest conflict in human history erupted with fire and steel. You may think you know how World War II began, but the truth about those first 24 hours is darker and far more shocking than most people realize. Watch until the end, because the untold details of this day will leave you stunned. At exactly 4:45 in the morning, under direct orders from Adolf Hitler, the German battleship Schleswig Holstein opened fire on a small Polish garrison at Westerplatte near the port city of Danzig. The ship had been allowed to anchor there under the cover of a so-called diplomatic visit, but the reality was that it was preparing to unleash the first shots of a new world war. The bombardment tore into Polish defenses. Soldiers inside the garrison were heavily outnumbered, yet they refused to surrender and fought fiercely against the German assault. This attack was only the beginning. Hitler's plan, called Fallweiss or Case White, was launched in full. More than 1.5 million German troops surged across the Polish frontier from 3 different directions. To the north, units from East Prussia crossed into Polish territory. From the west, forces struck out of Germany itself. And from the south, troops moved in from Slovakia, an ally under German influence. The invasion had been planned for months, and Hitler gave his generals clear orders: crush Poland quickly, without mercy, and before Britain and France could react. While artillery roared on the ground, the skies above Poland filled with the terrifying sound of the Luftwaffe. Within the first hours, German bombers struck Warsaw, Krakow, Lodz, and other cities. Communication centers, railways, and airfields were obliterated. Bridges were blown apart to prevent Polish reinforcements from moving. Entire civilian neighborhoods were hit. Hitler had ordered his commanders to use overwhelming force, not just against the Polish army, but against the Polish people themselves. His goal was simple: terrorize the nation into collapse before help could arrive. By dawn, German tanks and motorized divisions were already racing deep into Poland. This was the first real display of Blitzkrieg, the lightning war. Instead of slow battles like in World War I, the German army used speed and shock to paralyze defenders. Armored units sliced through Polish lines while paratroopers secured bridges and crossings. Infantry followed behind, cleaning up pockets of resistance. The orders were ruthless and efficient: keep advancing, give no time for the enemy to reorganize. At the same time, German propaganda machines were working. Radio broadcasts announced that Germany was responding to supposed Polish aggression. Hitler claimed that Polish soldiers had attacked German territory. In reality, this was a lie. The Germans themselves staged fake attacks on the border, even dressing concentration camp prisoners in Polish uniforms and murdering them to create the illusion of Polish assaults. These staged incidents were used as justification for invasion, giving Hitler the excuse he wanted. As the morning turned to afternoon, the scale of the invasion became clear. More than 2,000 German tanks rolled across Poland that day. Over 1,000 aircraft darkened the skies. The Polish army was brave but hopelessly outmatched. Many of their units still relied on cavalry, while the Germans brought modern armor and mechanized divisions. Still, Polish soldiers fought desperately, sometimes charging German tanks on horseback in acts of pure courage. News of the invasion spread rapidly across Europe. In London, Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain was informed in the early hours. In Paris, French leaders gathered in emergency meetings. Both Britain and France had signed treaties with Poland promising to come to its defense. Now Hitler had called their bluff. On that first day, however, neither Britain nor France declared war. They hesitated, hoping perhaps for a diplomatic solution, but every hour that passed allowed German forces to push deeper into Poland. For the Polish people, the first day was a nightmare of fire and blood. Families fled their homes with only what they could carry. Roads became clogged with refugees who soon became targets for German bombers. By nightfall, thousands of civilians were dead. Entire towns were in flames. The Polish government, realizing the scale of the attack, began to plan a desperate evacuation to the east, hoping to hold out long enough for Britain and France to join the fight. Hitler's orders had been precise. He wanted to crush Poland in weeks, not months. He remembered the long stalemate of World War I and was determined never to allow that to happen again. His generals executed the plan with ruthless efficiency. Field Marshal Walter von Brauchitsch commanded the overall invasion, while General Gerd von Rundstedt and General Fedor von Bock led massive army groups sweeping in from the west and the north. The speed and coordination of the German assault shocked even experienced observers. As night fell on September 1, 1939, the world stood on the edge of catastrophe. In Poland, cities smoldered, families wept, and soldiers prepared to fight on, even though the odds were hopeless. In Britain and France, leaders debated how to respond. Should they declare war immediately, or attempt one last negotiation with Hitler? The clock was ticking, and history was about to be written. The first day of World War II revealed the terrifying strategy that Hitler had unleashed. The plan was not just to defeat armies, but to destroy entire nations in a matter of days. By the time September 1st ended, Poland was already burning, and the world was on a path to 6 years of devastation that would claim over 70 million lives. It all began with those first shells fired at 4:45 in the morning. A single order from Hitler set off a chain of events that no one could stop. The story of the first day of World War II is a chilling reminder of how quickly the world can descend into chaos. From the lies told to justify the invasion to the bombs that fell on innocent civilians, it shows us the cost of unchecked aggression and the danger of silence in the face of tyranny. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more hidden history and untold stories of the past.